Anyways. All right. Well, viewers, to tactical session, Pharmacist live but as collaborators, our help, their expertise, enrich our brings our goals forward and set to explore mentorship in Ohio cannabis labs. And before we go, the community spotlight will shine on our first cannabis call. Greater understanding of the impact. As we go into the segments, I'm thrilled to share insights across let's brainstorm, let's connect, and let's move together. Thanks for sponsoring that Farm True High Horse Cannabis Company, Wallace Speedway Park, and Big Chicken Farm. Here's to learning, growing, and together. Engage with share your thoughts, and let's make this about community, knowledge, and progress. Welcome to the Your Pharmacist live stream. A transformative evening, everybody. Exciting. Let's see here. It would be nice if I plugged in my mic. So I think first things first, we can do that. How would you mic up? Much better there. Satisfied. Okay. So what's up, everybody? Good evening. Happy Thursday evening. For everybody who's not watching NFL football or eating like half off Buffalo Wild Wings and has a little time to check this out tonight, what's going on? Hey, so right now we're talking about the unionization that's forming in pharmacy. We'll talk about this a little bit in two segments here in our Enlightenment Hour and our Pharmacist Frontline. So talking about Walgreens and CVS. CVS just hit some of their most record profits ever, right? And anyways, corresponding with that, over the last month, there's been literal pharmacist and pharmacy walkouts happening throughout, the entire country. So there was 3 different sets of walkouts, and pharmacists, pharmacy technicians, other pharmacy staff were unionizing, basically trying to come together and make a statement to advocate for safer working conditions with better, hours and help and proper, everything, right? So with that, the big union network finally was able to recognize them. So the Pharmacy Guild was launched, and that was just this week. So that's pretty interesting. And on top of that, this Pharmacy Guild was launched, and CVS and Walgreens stocks both dropped about 2% and 3% respectively. So not very much, but interesting that there's at least a stock, adjustment to that. So as even noted here, CVS and Walgreens shares dropped Wednesday after the Pharmacy Guild announced its launch in an effort to unite pharmacy workers, calling for staff and workload standards. Pharmacy Guild launches after some workers walked out of pharmacies, calling for staffing workload concerns to be addressed to ensure patient safety. Right? So anyways, moral of the story here is the unionization is actually finally forming. The Pharmacy Guild, how about that, guys? From what started from literally one pharmacist's Facebook page, the Accidental Pharmacist, guys. And that was Shane Durmowski, and he's been, doing this, independently by himself since, I believe, 2019, something like that. Anyways, sharing his story, he's been following and leading not only Pharmageddon, but the other pharmacy walkouts. He's kind of been the main guy that, is helping with this. He started a GoFundMe to help with technicians, that walked out and needed some income supplementation. So there were some very, very, very interesting things that came out of this. And from going to one guy's, full on push, this guy here, Shane, anyways, it really became this pharmacist guild, which was, you know, started by the IAM. It represents 600,000 members, joined industry social media activists, which joined industry social media activists to promote it. So like this 600,000 member organization is literally what forms other unions here in the country, and interesting to see the way the work and the advocacy there has taken place. And for Walgreens and CVS continuing to try to sweep that under the rug, it's, there you finally see it. Today the stock shifted. So this has been happening for about a month and a half. Granted, it's been happening for years, but a month and a half of the protests. All right, so let's move on to tech talk before we get back into that. So this is interesting. Breathing life into medicine, living pharmacy implant gets oxygenating boost. So this is an interesting, dosage form device. Researchers at Northwestern University developed a device funded by DARPA that produces oxygen to keep cells alive with an implantable living pharmacy. This pharmacy aims to autonomously produce therapeutics to regulate sleep-wake cycles. So pretty interesting, right? It's a literal device that is, cell-based and biomedical engineering. So, the implantable living pharmacy, how does it even work, guys? And how does cell healing and things like this work? Let's jump into this. So this DARPA contract, $30 million to develop this close-up of the N-Train implant right here inside of this pill, shows the internal cellular factories, which when activated by light could produce precisely dosed peptide therapies. So crazy. And it's coming out. So N-Train, expanded acronym, normalizing timing of rhythms across internal networks of circadian clocks. A living pharmacy device could be particularly a powerful tool for people like military personnel who frequently travel across multiple time zones, shift workers, including first responders who, vacillate between overnight and daytime shifts. So those who take medications like, modafinil and these sleep-wake medications, this is literally technology that's supposed to, help your body just be able to manage that. And gosh, everybody who's ever worked an overnight, ever traveled overnight, ever traveled overseas knows what that jet lag feeling is. And, hard to shake. That's why some people, resort to medication. So that's cool. Interesting. All right, guys, so let's jump back into a little bit of this too. Got two Ohio things today. OHIO. But this may have affected the stock price earlier too. So the Ohio Board of Pharmacy pushing back against CVS's games. And this has to do with, the walkout. So article here citing a disciplinary hearing related to understaffing at some CVS pharmacies in Ohio didn't come to a conclusion Wednesday, but members of the Ohio Board of Pharmacy seemed skeptical of some of the claims attorneys or the corporation were making. So the hearing, which began Tuesday, was specifically about problems Board of Pharmacy's inspectors found at a CVS in Canton, Ohio, when they visited on September 13, 2021. They found a pharmacy so understaffed that the inside counter was closed, stock, including controlled substances, hadn't been shelved, and customers had to wait in the drive-thru more than an hour. And after waiting for more than an hour, it wasn't getting resolved, right? It would still have to come back. So inspectors were finding here that it took almost 2 weeks for the overwhelmed pharmacy to fill many prescriptions. And on a follow-up call a month later, they were told the backlog for some was a full month. And again, those are medications at a CVS September 13, 2021. And this was heavy COVID season. But it really hasn't gotten that much better. And, they were enabling this. And CVS pharmacies are making real big money vaccinating COVID vaccines. Still do. Vaccinations are a great revenue stream for pharmacies, but, COVID vaccines did not cost any money to acquire. So you think about it that way, it was, an opportunity pharmacies could capitalize on like never before. And CVS was just eating, right? And still making people wait a month. And so, interestingly enough, so the pharmacy board, the state's regulator, could levy fines against CVS, or it could revoke its license for store number 2063 in Canton. But the hearing has implications well beyond that. The hearing could be the first of about a dozen for Ohio CVS stores, and the Board of Pharmacy has issued citations against. In August, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost said his office would start asking questions about the problems. In addition, pharmacy workers in other states have told the Capital Journal about potential safety problems associated with understaffing at CVS stores there. So, glad the Ohio Board of Pharmacy is taking a good look at this. Some Board of Pharmacies are heavily funded by people like CVS, right? And they can help with a whole lot of other things. So anyways, CVS said the problems at the store were a result of COVID-19, as we talked about. But on Wednesday, some of the lawyerly tactics used by CVS's attorneys didn't seem to sit well with the members of the pharmacy board, most of whom are pharmacists themselves. Pat yourself on the back, Ohio Board of Pharmacy. Witnesses who worked in the CVS store in Canton said it took way too long in 2021 to fill prescriptions because there weren't nearly enough workers and that CVS corporate officials weren't helping. CVS attorney Christina Dahman has tried, excuse me guys, I got a little allergies today, has tried to cast doubt on those claims by repeatedly pointing out that Ohio pharmacy rules don't set minimum staffing levels, nor do they say how long it is to wait for your prescription to be filled. Like, that's bottom line ethics. The fact that a CVS attorney would sit there and even try to argue that. Oh, good God. In the wake of the CVS inspections, the board in August proposed a sweeping new set of regulations to address the problems by giving pharmacists more power to make store-level staffing decisions, and by requiring that the vast majority of scripts be filled within 72 hours. But at one point on Wednesday, board member TJ Grimm brushed Dahman's arguments aside in favor of the obvious. If you walked in any one of my stores and I had 15 people working and they were a month behind filling prescriptions, would you consider that to be adequate staffing? Grimm asked pharmacy board inspector who helped write the report about deficiencies. God, that's a terrible maneuver. Still terrible. A day earlier, board member Victor Goodman, lawyer, seemed aghast after a former tech at the store, Haley Stanfick, testified. She said that Dahman had called her and told her that since Stanek no longer lived in Ohio, she didn't have to report to the Board of Pharmacy. Anyways, CVS is apparently enough of an Ohio presence to operate dozens of stores, telling the board they got licensed from you to operate pharmacies all over the state, but they don't have enough contact with Ohio that you want to get a copy of their communications and you can't get them. So, it gets really, really sticky over there in Ohio, and they are getting all the way into it is basically what I'm saying. Excited to see where that goes. Shout out to the Ohio Board of Pharmacy to actually investigate that. I mean, you should really consider, where you have the pharmacist to technician ratio and things like that. Like, okay, that's an important thing, right? And then you have to probably have some sort of threshold of comfortable staffing. So wherever that pharmacist discretion is there, I don't know. But for the corporates, good golly, Miss Molly, ain't even fun. All right, guys, so moving on into our Herbal Wellness Corner, still talking about Ohio. Ohio becoming the 24th state to legalize recreational cannabis. So they just voted on that yesterday. Shout out to Ohio being number 2-4 there. What does that mean? So they're going to be like New Mexico. The people who have medical licenses first will get the opportunity to get a license as soon as that rolls out, and then it'll roll out to rec. But very, very happy to see Ohio getting on board with that. We're going to see some good positive things there. Chicago and wherever else needs some big work. Guys, moving on to the community spotlight here. Discussing, so tomorrow, check this out. Las Cruces Cannabis Crawl is tomorrow, presented by GGO Magazine. Proud to present the first ever Las Cruces Cannabis Crawl. The special event celebrates the culture of cannabis and allows residents and visitors to learn more about the variety of products and accessories available at participating dispensaries. So it's starting at Dreams, 140 West Picacho Avenue, and drop off your completed passport at 420 at 505 North Valley, Las Cruces, New Mexico. So very cool. You get a bud and go throughout all the different stores. This magazine DGO is putting it on. The event, I will share the link here in my chat for everybody. Anybody who wants to go. It's fun. I won't be going. I'm a father. New one. All right, guys, I'll run this one quick. Lastly, with Men's Health Minute, as you've seen in the screen up here on donating to Movember. Everybody knows what Movember, right? Movember is. You guys want to watch the mustache video?
Hi, is this the 247? Mo.
The Mo is calling. Raise funds, save lives. Sign up at Movember.com.
So anyways, minus how incredibly inspiring that video was with the mustaches as well. It's awesome. Anyways, how to mow in 4 steps. Sign up. You sign up on the website. Choose how you mow. 4 ways to pick. Anyways, guys, the cool thing about this, September is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. On top of advocating for prostate cancer and testicular cancer within that. That mustache is a cool thing. So guys rocking the mustaches in Movember, that's awesome. Also find ways to donate or advocate for, getting screened. If you have been screened and you're over 40 for things like prostate cancer, mental health awareness, whole thing, checking your buds. It's Movember. Some nice handlebars there for sure. Other than that, guys, we will call it a good evening, and I hope to sing you guys some lullabies.